And being seen. Good morning, everybody. Okay, I can't have more energy than everybody listening. It's not possible. Physically, I cannot. Oh, the mic is helping me. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all here. Welcome to centonomy, our second open day for this year, and we're so glad that you made time to be with us. I want to get a quick response from the team that is online. If you are online in the chat box, say good morning to us so that I know that you are part of the experience that we're having here. And once I know that you can hear me, I get into it. First of all, this is simply amazing. In the world of Zoom, that you woke up, got into a vehicle, drove, came and sat in this room means that you're a purposeful person. And I applaud you. Can you applaud yourselves for a moment? This is not to take away from the over, how many are we now? We're over 200 people. Before the session began, we were over 200 logged on to the Zoom. But it's because many of the people who are joining in now are from different cities, different countries. I think if you can in the Zoom, first of all, I need to confirm. Can you hear us on the Zoom on that side? If you can in the chat box, just write, yes, we can hear you. Then I'm ready to keep going. Once I get that, we're good to go. And up there in the booth as well, you can tell me if there's clarity, because we don't want to leave those people behind. I want to make sure that we are on and we're good. Excellent. Good. So, as I was saying, if you can in the chat box, please just write down which city you are in so that we know and we can speak out. I know people were registering from India, people were registering from West Africa, from Europe. I know there are people everywhere. So just type in the city that you're at and I'll be able to get you there as well. So, for those who have joined now, and as you can see it on the screen, I'll be sharing just now for those who are online, I'll encourage you to participate if you can. Not if you can, this is an opportunity for you. Engage with us online and you stand a chance to win a partial scholarship into the program Centonomy 101. So this is a good time to be tweeting. It's a good time to be posting on social media. I learned yesterday in a mental health symposium that I attended, as a facilitator, I used to get very annoyed. I don't know if any of you have ever spoken in front of people, and then everybody's on their phone or somebody's writing and doodling and doing on the side. They said, for many people, that helps with concentration. I don't know how that works. But on the table for the symposium that I had attended, they had coloring pencils, color pencils, and spaces for you to color so that you doodle. And now, like for somebody like me, who is especially fidgety, this was perfect, but I was listening. So I will not hold it against you for those who are in the room. I will not hold it against you if you're busy on your phone or you're writing and doodling on the side, because I know you're focused and listening. So if you would like a partial scholarship, here are the hashtags to use for that. The hashtags are Centonomy Open Day, hashtag money management, hashtag financial freedom. If you put those three hashtags into all the social media that you're going to be using, it's your opportunity to win a partial scholarship. So well done to everybody who's here, and those who are also online on the Zoom. Kindly use those hashtags. It's hashtag Centonomy Open Day, hashtag money management, hashtag financial freedom, and you're going to have an opportunity. I'll keep reminding you of those hashtags as we go through them. You'll have an opportunity to get through and win a partial scholarship to the program. So, welcome once again to the Centonomy Open Day. We're talking about soft life, hard life, real life. So when I say soft life, hard life, you respond, real life. Here we go, let's try it just a little bit. Soft life, hard life, real life. Okay, can we say it with a bit more gusto than that? Soft life, hard life, real life. We're here to discuss real life. And real life is not just soft, and it's not just hard, it's real. And the stories that you're going to hear from these amazing speakers and the ones who are on their way as well, who are going to be joining us, are going to express to us in a way that we've probably never heard before, or we've never actually thought about it. That it is not just the soft life that you're aiming for. I know that's what we're looking for, isn't it? The soft life, apparently you have a house somewhere, you have money just coming in. By the way, if you had cash and nothing to do for the rest of your life, you would be bored. I'm telling you. Can I show you what I mean by that? Ladies and gentlemen, most of you are earning more today than you ever were. You know, you've continued in your career and you're earning more, right? So you have more cash. Are you more relaxed or less? Are you more relaxed or less relaxed? You have more money. Isn't it? As you get more, you start looking for more. And it's about expressing and learning about the journey that is ahead of us. And so as we express this, this is what we're going to go through together. So one more time, soft life, hard life, real life. That's what we're here to discuss this morning. My name is Wailaka Letuya and I serve at Centonomy as CEO. And I'm so glad that you've given us your time, all those who are in the room here, and especially all those who are online. Thank you so much. Thank you for all those who've been writing in. I'm going to come and check and see where we are all around the world. I want us to do a couple of things, if you don't mind, just for a couple of seconds. Because you are in the room, I want you to turn around to somebody next to you, and I want you to describe to them what you consider to be the soft life. Real quick, somebody next to you, just tell them, what do you think soft life means? For those who are online, for you who are online, I want you to type into the chat box, what does soft life mean to you? I know this is a Kenyan colloquialism, alright? It's a Kenyan thing. So I want to hear from those who are outside Kenya, what does soft life mean to you? If you don't mind. Yeah, go ahead and type in the chat box. Good. Alright, what does soft life mean? Yeah, just tell them your experience. Good. Alright, somebody shout out from that corner there. What did we say soft life is? Real quick. Somebody just shout out. Somebody on that side. You said it already, so just say it. Here we go. Being sorted out. Good, somewhere over here. Being sorted out.
Having options.
Having options. Options of what kind? To do?
Whatever.
Yeah? If you're a guy, there are ladies waiting. Then you select the one. If you're a lady, there are many guys chasing. And you're the one who selects the, I like that. Having options from this side. That's soft life. On this side, somebody shout out, what does soft life mean to you? I like that, having options. Just shout it out. You had the conversation. Just say it then, and I'll not judge you. I won't judge. Soft life, anyone on this side? Yeah, go ahead, yes. Hefty inheritance from your parents. I can tell where you come from. My brother, I can feel you. Hefty. Now, if you don't have parents who have a hefty inheritance with you, what do we do? I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyone else on this side, real quick? Yeah, shout it out. Say that one more time. Maisha Tabarare. Let me try and translate for those who are online. Soft, easy life, things that are just flowing the way that you'd like it to be. The options we were discussing beforehand. Very good. Here we're hearing quite a few people online saying living the abundant life without having to do the 8 to 5 p.m. Yani passive income. That's some of the responses that we're getting. Soft life for me is being able to afford anything that I want, getting to take breaks anytime that you want, taking vacations anytime that you want. And so I thought, when I was having this session, that's what I thought people were going to come and say. And that's the experience that we think soft life, hard life, real life means. And can I bust all your bubbles? What usually precedes the soft life? Can you think, other than the ones who received the hefty inheritance, other than those guys, can you think of someone who has found the soft life without the preceding, and even those who received the inheritance, they have to wait, that's hard. Okay, the waiting is hard. But who, in the generating of the wealth that was being passed on, in generating it, was there some hard work that was done? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And in this session, because when you come and you join centonomy, people think it's about, there's a secret investment, right? There's a secret investment option that you're going to come and hear about when you come to centonomy. That suddenly it will take you from an investment of 5,000 shillings to 500 million in the next 5 years. Correct? See, that's what we're thinking. No. Let's just be honest here. When we come into the class, it is about being practical. The steps that are going to take you towards the life that you want. And so, when we look at those who are able to go on holiday, it is because they have generated the wealth that can allow them to go on to holiday, on that holiday. When you talk about inheritance, it was time, it was investment that allowed them to be able to pass that on to those who are coming in the next generation. And so it is for us to be real about it and to say, if that is what we want, then what choices are we going to make in order to get there? So our mission here at Centonomy is to shift mindsets so that purposeful people like yourselves who show up on a Saturday can be able to create wealth and to live abundantly. That is our aim. And so if you're able to create wealth as a purposeful person, we're going to get into that space that we're talking about. So, success in any environment. Let me just do a quick question, right? Is life getting easier as far as the economy? Online. Even if you're not here in Kenya, is life getting easier as we go forward? Is there such a thing as inflation? In the class we calculate what inflation looks like, right? And we talk about the first time you ever bought a loaf of bread, how much did it cost you? Somebody shout out. 4 shillings. Anyone beat 4 shillings? Ken, you have just told us how old you are. I tell anyone bought a loaf of bread for less than 4 shillings here. So, and you bought for how much? Shout, how much?
2 shillings.
2 shillings. And that was 500 grams, right? 2 shillings and 50 cents. And that was how many? 500 grams. Today we are buying a loaf of bread for 400 grams, and it's how many shillings? 60 shillings. In your lifetime. When we're all retired, the next 20, 30 years, how much? 500 shillings. So you'll be going to the supermarket with a 1,000 shilling note and coming out with 1 loaf of bread and maybe a pint of milk. You thought it was going to be less than that. But guess what? If we make the choices that we need to make right now, it will allow us to be able to live comfortably then. It is. Can I ask you this? In these hard economic times, are there people who are being successful?
Yes.
Are they earning?
Yes.
Are they getting passive income?
Yes.
Why not you? That's what we're here to discuss. Can I give you one more analogy before we hear from our first speaker? One more. It's hard to stay in shape these days, isn't it? I struggled. Towards the end of last year, I was at my heaviest ever. I stood on the weight scale, and all 5'10" of me was over 105 kilograms at the end of last year. And I could blame everything. See, there's sugar in everything. There's sugar in every food. It's so easy to get fast food and everything. But right now in this world, is there somebody who has a six-pack? Can you think of somebody who has a six-pack? So what's the difference between me and them? In my whole 105 kgs at that point. What's the difference? The choices that we are making. And so if you're looking for that successful life, it's about the choices that we are going to make. So from the speakers that we're hearing here, it is possible to be successful in any environment. And that's what we're going to hear from every one of these speakers who are going to come and share with you. And when we come into the session, I'll come back and remind us of them. Just real quick, for those who have just joined in and who are interested in getting that scholarship to the Centonomy 101 program, please do engage with us. Engage with us online, and you stand a chance to win a scholarship, a partial scholarship to the program. How you do that is on all social media platforms. Please engage with the hashtags. Hashtag Centonomy Open Day, hashtag money management, and hashtag financial freedom. That's what we're looking for. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are all online, Steve, how many are we at now? Almost 300, I think. We're close to that level there. We are over 300 who've already joined online, and I'm sure there's more as they're coming in. To all of us, I want us to put our hands together for our first speaker of the day, Mr. Peter Mutinda. He's the president of the Kenyan East African and Asia Africa Chamber of Commerce. He's also the CEO of Richfield Capital, and he's here so kindly to share part of his story of success. Can we put our hands together for Mr. Peter Mutinda?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning once again. Good morning. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. So as you heard, my name is Peter Mutinda. I also go by the name Godfrey. My friends on the other side of the world, they say Godfrey. Godfrey. Others say Godfrey Peter. Godfrey Peter. However, I'm really honored to be here today, and as I've been introduced very well, thank you so much, Mr. Witheka. I am the CEO of Richfield Capital, Microfinance. I am the president of Asia Africa Chamber of Commerce, which, as the name goes, as buyers for Asia and Africa. I am the Africa coordinator of My Events International, an events company that does international trade based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as a HQ. I am really privileged to be here, really honored, because I'm speaking to a bunch of people who are conscious about their destiny. I'm speaking to people who have decided to take a step towards their destiny, because you chose to register, you chose to come here. I know we have a bigger audience online. You chose to be part of this open day organized by Centonomy, talking about soft life, hard life, and real life. And I like the way we started. I like the engagement that began. I was telling my colleagues here, I wish I could hear what was going on, or all the answers when you were asked, what is soft life according to you? I also wish I can know what is going on in your minds when you think about hard life, as well, real life. I am privileged to be here to share my life. I know the classes will be undertaken by Centonomy team, which I would really encourage you to register. So who is Peter? Or who is Peter? Or who is Godfrey? As some would say. Do I have those variants, those extremes of hard and soft and real? I grew up in a family that was poor, not because we could not afford the things that made me think we are poor, but because of our relationship with money. During my engagement with you here, and the other speakers who will come here, I want you to think about your relationship with money. When you want to demystify hard life, soft life, and real life, whichever way you want to begin it. What is your relationship with money? What I didn't tell you in my introduction is that I worked for about 17 years in the banks. in the banking sector. Standard Chartered Bank and Barclays Bank mainly. My brother is wondering, can you see those years there or what? But that is true. For 17 years, I've been in the banks, in the finance industry. And I had the opportunity to interact with people in different levels. A banker, I say, is like a doctor, you know. When you go to a doctor, you will explain your condition without hiding anything. You want to get help. So most of the time, the people who used to come to the bank, they would explain their financial situation to the latter. Things that probably their spouses wouldn't know. Things, if it's a corporate institution, things that probably their subordinates do not know. So I want to say this. Your relationship with money is a big deal. Right? I talked about my family life, and especially I can talk about school life. I remember I used to be sent home for school fees because it's not been paid. My fourth year, KCSE, I think 1999, you can start guessing my age, I don't mind. I was sent home the whole of third term when I'm supposed to be sitting for my KCSE same year. I went back on a Tuesday and the KCSE was beginning on Thursday because of this issue called money. But my dad had money to do two days. It was Tusker, 2 bottles of Tusker or something. I finally lost my dad because of complications related to alcohol. I was orphaned because of that, and I took the responsibility of my siblings throughout campus. What I'm trying to say is, it's about your relationship with what you have. You can use the situation that you are in to your advantage. The good book would say, all to work together for good. You can leverage on the situations that you have. Because as I stand before you today here, and the many engagements that I have had. By the way, when I got invitation as centonomy to speak here, I was shocked. The following week, I also got an invitation by KTN News business team to also have an engagement. You can watch on Tuesday from 3 to 4. But why? I will be talking about the reality about my life, even when I get a chance, that place. And the things that I went through, they have worked for my good. If you can take advantage, if you can leverage your situation. Number one, I realized if my dad had some restraint, okay, we wouldn't have gone through what we went through. Probably I would be having my dad today. Okay? And I talk about it because before he left us, he reformed. Okay? He apologized to me because we used to confront against that. Alright? And he told me, never go this route. Okay? He told me that. We spent all the money that we had for his medication. Okay? And he left one small thing, a book. Yeah, I remember in the small room where we used to live in his sleep, one room. As a teenager boy, I used to sleep on the floor, and my legs inside my mother's and dad's bed. And we have 5 siblings. So if it happens 2 or 3 have come to town, we'll be sleeping there. Okay? I know my wife is seated here. I know when we were building our house, she was wondering what's wrong with you. Because I really wanted to do a huge house. I wanted to ensure that my kids each they have their own room. Right? I live in a 6-bedroom house. I have 3 kids. Okay? So most there are 2 bedrooms, no one is there. The visitors come. But it is based on what I went through. Get me right. Now, fast forward. My dad has died. and you can imagine KCSE rather. In fact, I had to break one of the weekends to go for burials and come and continue the exams. And I used to tell myself, if you dare fail, Peter, you dare fail, what will happen to this family? What will happen to yourself? Has been my impetus. And therefore I used to work hard. Okay? My whole story, because I know I have very few minutes, I don't know at what point I'll be back on, can be summed up in this. Work hard. Okay, let me begin. Build a profile. Build your profile by working hard. If possible, very hard. You may never know who is watching. Okay? So I began to look for survival. God helped me. I prayed hard. I worked hard. I read the Bible, the book that was left by my dad. I said, there's nothing else, because he had bought a new Bible, by the way, which I stayed for very many years. I looked around, there's nothing is left, only debts. Okay? And the Bible, I read that book. And other books, like Think Big, John Castle, that was a real thing for me. Right? I did things. Like when I remember in my outright in the high school, my bed was on the wall. I had something written there, A plus. Like when you wake up like this, I see that I need to get it. Crazy things, because I was like, this is for my survival. So, thank God I passed my exams and I managed to join the University of Nairobi here. But I had to do managed jobs. I would wake up very early in the morning, go to Kikomba. Who knows where Kikomba is? Kikosh. Unajua kitu inaitwa camera. Yeah? For the online team. You know the second-hand shoes. I used to go to our, what market? What can I call it? The market where we have second-hand shoes, clothes, you know, used, sorry? Toy market? So I used to go there and we used to pick, you have to get there very early, 5. There was mud, okay? There was mud, and I remember at the beginning everybody used to have gumboots, I didn't have. You have to get there very early, and I don't know why there was mud. Maybe I need to go there, remind me, one of these days to see whether that mud is still there. I don't know for what reason. There was mud all the time. So we go there, and you don't know whether it is mud. Don't know which water. I don't want to say that. So I used to go there and get the camera shoes, because when they opened that bag, the way they imported it, they, maybe around 6:30 they cut it and then they will pour the shoes. So the camera, which are the most new, because remember these are second, they are used, right? The most new is picked by the people who come first, right? And when you pick the most new, chances of you selling is very high. Thank you. So, I used to do that. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't make it. But I still try to go there and pick what was left. I did boga. Unasikia mama boga. I don't know why they don't say baba boga. Man boga. I don't know why they said. I did that. Okay. Of course I tried. You know, where my mom used to live in a house which is more of a kibanda as well. Outside, we used to do some boga there. Buy schooners, come. You try to make it from, in Kenyan style, you do what? You kata, right? You slice it in small pieces, right? I messed my hand. Please remember, I've never told you this. Remember me to show you the scar. I have a scar to date. Okay? Because my mom used to do it for us in the house, but I never done it. So out there, I messed myself. I employed somebody to do that. Okay? It did not go well. I did not make money from that. I stopped. Okay, I went to buy this leather, you know, the skin, animal skin, goat, sheep. I went to buy that. I go to somewhere down there, Kariako. We have it treated, okay? Then they will slice it into pieces. All right. I buy buckles and I end up with a belt, I sell that. Okay? I learned tailoring. Yeah, because there was a machine home there. I realized you can join pieces of a sweater and you're paid 5 bob. So if I do 20 of them, I make some money. Little did I know that this is what was creating entrepreneurial skills to myself. Little did I know. I was doing these things while I'm in campus. So sometimes I may miss some lectures. That means I have to study in the evening, night. Now, today, I am in this industry that I am in. I gave you the titles and what I do. But my first degree was chemistry. I did chemistry. Okay? In the process of trying to survive, when I got an attachment while in my 3rd year and 4th year to a company called Henkel here in Roraka, I used to work hard, not just for the attachment, but because they used to give us allowance of 300 shillings per day. That was going to do food for myself, my siblings, and rent for my mom's house, who was still alive there. One day, the HR, Juliana, I won't give the second name, passed by, and she said, Peter. She didn't say Peter, she said, Peter. She said, I always see you here very early, sometimes late. Every time I pass by here, I see you cleaning up, because we used to do, it was a quality control laboratory. So we used to check, like early in the morning, I used to check what the toxic contents we are releasing to the environment because of the regulator. You know, NEMA, they always check what we are selling to the environment. So I used to go and pick that thing, come to the laboratory, test, and write a report. Okay? And everybody did like that. So as long as I'm in attachment, that was left to myself. In the evening, I used to arrange the files because we used to test viscosity for glue and all that. Thank you. So what happened is that Juliana said, Peter, when you finish your college, please don't look for a job. Come and we'll give you a job. Okay? She noticed my hard work. It is a long story. I never got the job when I finished. Because of time, I won't go to do that. But it inculcated and put something in me. Oh, this is what the bosses recognize. She was the HR director. It is a German company. Okay? And I went on with that. I got a placement jobs as a salesperson in Barclays and worked hard again. In 6 months, I got promoted to a sales manager and on and on. Now, my disposable income was increasing by that. I was working hard, but I was getting money this other side. Okay? I went on, and I want to say this. When I was appointed as a CEO for Richfield Capital, Kenya, it's because my bosses, we were working with, I was a relation manager. I was handling their corporate business. Okay? And in our interaction, which was like over 6 years maybe, they noted my zeal. Okay? Because later I was to ask, why did you depend on me? Because they pushed me. You know, Peter, we want to begin a microfinance. Come and set it up for us. And they kept on saying, you have to come until they won. And I left the bank. They were to say, we have watched you for many years. That's why when you went back, in Standard Chartered, we were with you. When you left to Barclays, we followed you. And we knew we want to begin a bank one day. We should begin as a microfinance. And we knew this is the guy who will help us. Amazing. There are options, including their Asian counterparts who can do that. When I was appointed the president of Asia Africa Chamber of Commerce in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, is because I was coordinating an international event called Africa Expo. So I took Africans to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for a trade mission. And the board members were participants in that event. They watched what I was doing, and later I was called aside, I was taken for a very nice dinner, and I was asked whether I can, take up that role. I coordinate Kenya and Eastern Africa. Same story. We like the way we really worked hard until the expo was where it is. My Events International, to elect me as Africa Director, same story. Because I was trying to do my own business as an entrepreneur. I was trying to do medical supplies, equipment, and I went to Kuala Lumpur. They call it KL. I went to KL for an event, and I was trying to coordinate with everybody. So, where did you come from? Kenya. Sometimes when you say Kenya, it's amazing, man. Others still think, one country is African. You look African, so they think you come from Africa. You say Kenya. It's amazing, but that's story for another day. They appointed me. Same way. Hard work. Right? They just love the zeal. They love the focus. I want to ask you a question. I have many other accolades that I can put here, but I want to avoid that. Do you think all those engagements, all those titles and levels I'm getting, do you think there's no cash benefits? Do you think there's no cash benefits? There is, right? But is that really only what I was going for? Yeah? So, look into something that you can focus on. Or, let's say this. Where you find yourself, the opportunities that are around where you are, please begin there. Work hard. Give it your very best. Uphold integrity and honesty. Right? Step by step. It may not all of it come one day, okay? Step by step. I'm in the 4th floor. I don't think I've reached where I should, but for sure, my kids are doing the British curriculum, right? They are not being chased from school. What was happening with me that time? You understand? I love to travel. I used to go to Penny Friends, to Netherlands, to Holland, I don't know where. Okay? Last year I did 26 countries. This year I've already done 6 countries because of the other things that I do. Okay? I have not reached there, but let me tell you, there's something about hard work. Okay? Purposeful, intentional, hard work. Okay, do this. Work hard to get knowledge, to work hard. Did you hear me? Work hard to get knowledge, to work hard. Like now, you can join centonomy, right? Learn about what they are talking about, money and wealth. Okay? Differentiate those things. I don't have time. I wish I can get time one time. What is rich? What's the difference between wealth and the rich? Which one are you going for? Cannot be mystified, that not now. Join them and learn. Once you learn, then you will direct your efforts and energies working hard in a certain direction. Okay? And above all things, never leave God out of the equation. Did you hear me? I can stand on this thing here and say that. Okay? Never leave God out of the equation. You need Him. Right? Thank you so much. I think time is gone. I will not follow what is here. But I'm really honored for that opportunity.
Right there. Can we give him a hand? Thank you so much. So, you came from a 1-bedroom with your feet under your parents' bed. That's how you used to sleep, correct? Now you have a 6-bedroom house. Now do you just relax on a Saturday like today? What are you doing today?
I know where he's going. Yeah, sure, it's a 6-bedroom, there's a study room and all those many things. Okay, there's a garden and all those things. But let me tell you, I cannot sleep. I've seen one of my staff here from Richfield Capital. I've seen, who is it? Are there anybody from Richfield? Oh, she's actually my assistant at Richfield. Yes, I'm sure. You see me idle. How is it to get me on phone? How is it? Sometimes she's not aware. She doesn't know whether I'm in the country or not, and what timelines we're doing. And I have a very critical part of the process in what they do. I could be in a different time zone, all right? But I'm working. So I know what he's asking. Don't you think there's a time you will get there and then you relax? Did you hear? Okay. Did you hear what the president said the other day? Did you hear what he said? And you guys, I hope you take time, because that's another thing. When you're in your news, instead of watching just the soap, instead of watching those things, you also watch business news. I hope you can buy and read Business Daily. Right? I hope you can do that. The president was asked a question. Like, the guy was very romantic, eh? So he asked him, you look very, very healthy, very fit. The one was fit. You look very fit. Are you dieting or what? Okay? Who knows what the president said? Who knows what he said? He said, there's so much work here. There's so much work here that I cannot allow myself to be. Yeah? Yes, I'm trying to train myself to work. That is the president saying that. And he's not lying, okay? Please work there. So nobody should lie to you that you're going to get to this level and then things, no. But you can choose to enjoy what you do, right? If I come to speak to centonomy, I enjoy that, all right? When I'm working in Richfield, I choose to enjoy that. My attitude has to be worked on, all right? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Guys, let's put our hands together. He's right. We tried to get him on phone. You can't find him until you actually sit down and get that. I was taking notes. If you didn't take notes, take them now. He moved from science into finance into international trade. So for many of us, we're going to change our careers. He said, work hard, build a profile, read and educate yourself. Join into the sessions that we're doing here at Centonomy as well. Set goals. He had a vision board. Every day he'd wake up and see the A on his screen. That's one of the things that we use as a tool there. And he said, integrity and honesty will take you everywhere. And he said, step by step. And finally, he said, never leave God out of the equation. One more hand for Peter and Tina. Thank you so much. As I said before, thank you for all those who are tweeting and those who are involved online as well. We're using the hashtag Centonomy Open Day, hashtag money management, hashtag financial freedom for your chance to win a partial scholarship into the program. I'm so excited to invite our next guest because everyone else now who's going to speak has been through the Centonomy program, the alumni of the program. And I want to ask my dear brother Kenneth Onjiro to come and share his experiences through Centonomy. Can we put our hands together for Ken?
Profession, I was a lab technician. I was supposed to do the tools and all that. I eventually landed as a sales manager. So I'm the country sales head of Mika Appliances. And I love what I do because I ensure that you have the product in the market to enjoy yourselves with the blenders and the appliances. Now, lovely to see the room packed, and I know the online is also blazing. And it's always a pleasure to have, I think I follow Centonomy online, and you know, it's lovely to always see how many presentations comes in with the many real life experiences. And amazing to be here. Thank you, Wedaka Bashiki, for honoring me for this. I was at where you are about 8 years ago, and amazing, I would say. I thought I had it all. I think when I went for the class, when I just closed the class, I went to I asked him, is there one or two? But I had not actually Centonomy 101. So, one thing that I think as an alumni of Centonomy 101 is, and I think for me this was very hard after I did Centonomy 101, first week, second week, third week, and I went very excited in the house. And I thought, oh, this is the thing now. Now this is the thing, we have to do this. And one of the greatest highlights I left with centonomy was my house is not an investment. And it was, whoa, it's big time. Among the people who were very hard on us with that, with Iraq, saying, you know what, I have my rental house, I have my houses that I'm not dealing with, and I've rented them out. I went to my wife and told my wife, hey, we are now changing plan. We are not going to build our house again. And she was like, no, that cannot happen. Around my circle of friends, 99% of my friends all are living in their big palatial houses like my brother Pierre. Big houses, you go in and my daughter always asks me, Dad, you said this was your classmate? We used to sit together. No. So I constantly have to explain to her the rationale. So fast forward, after I went and presented to my wife and I told her this, she was like, she's not buying it. First week, second week, third week, fourth week, no, she's not buying it. And what did I do? Immediately, it was tough because it's not cheap. It's not cheap because when you get into this platform like this, I don't think you have the immediate cash to just come and pay, invest. I call it centonomy an investment. But I paid for my wife the centonomy one to join in with me. And for me, that was a blessing because 2 weeks down the line, there's a land I had bought in Ngom in 2013. And I remember in centonomy, one of the things that you told is these parcels, and I know around here, a lot of us have these parcels in Katani, in Mulolongo, in Ngom, in whatever. But how much value are you worth against every day? If today you are asked, oh, how much are you worth against the value that it is giving you every day? And I told my wife, no, we have to sell this parcel. But 2 weeks before, she could not. She couldn't even think about it. She had sentimental value to this parcel. And I know a lot of you go every other weekend, you want to go and see the grass and see who is breeding into your land out there. I know you go to Kamuto Road every other weekend. And we sold the parcel. And our vision was to now go in and build, a house that we can say we will have rentals. Because as Peter's saying, there is no soft life right now. But I believe one of the things that you are taught in centonomy is that you will not have a soft life right now, but try and build a future that you can build a soft life and a real life. Because as it goes in another, I am 38 right now. So in 20 years to come, I want to enjoy the soft life. And how am I going about this? So we sold the parcel. But it was tough because now, as you think about it, what centonomy teaches us and what it taught me is to race against the flow. 99% of the things that we've been taught in centonomy are things that are not normal. And most of the times, I am seeing a lady here with ICLI. I love these people. When you hear about insurance, people run away and they say, no. Yeah, from insurance, you slam them, you want for them. Most of the times you'll find that it is things that are in your desks. They're there. They're here right now. There are things that you should be doing, but you will not be doing them. Because you just need to take action. So centonomy teaches you to race against the wind. It teaches you that, you know what? You can be able to sacrifice today for tomorrow. It's not like you're supposed to be stingy, that you're supposed to, now we can be talk town, you're walking from town to Westlands to just save 20 shillings. But it teaches you to race against the wind, to save for tomorrow and to have a meaningful life in the future. So, to fast forward, I was now in this space where I want to build rentals, and every one of my friends, that's the race against the wind. Every one of my friends is living in their own house. Now, how do I start? You are here, you have zero, and you want to start something. So I think the key highlights for me was, number one, I learned that, you know what, I have to create my own space. My own space. Because I am different from Waidaka, I'm different from Waidaka, from Washeke, I'm different from a lot of people. And most of the people who stand in this platform, at times are not the ordinary. They are ordinary, they were ordinary, and now they are not ordinary. Like Peter, you know, Peter, he was ordinary, now he is not ordinary. Someone would look like you and say, now Peter is the CEO. This guy is running some good chunk of money. Where do I start from? So I've been taught that, you know what, from where you are, right now, for example, you're supposed to just do what? Register. Register with 20,000 shillings or 10,000 or 5,000, or come in and say, you know what, I will come, I will pay it in the next 10 months. It's an investment. So I learned to action immediately. Is it that insurance policy? Is it just, it's free to open a CDS account? I didn't know. Those are things that you will be taught in centonomy. But to fast forward, in 2018, after I bought this land, I decided, now after centonomy, I went and I wanted a person to build rentals. I looked, and funny enough, that's why I say you have to create your own space. Because if you do not create your own space and you want to run with the wind, you will never get that wind. Because when, after this today, you realize that you look aside, you look on the other side, and probably the only person that you have to run with is your spouse. So what you have to do, first of all, you have to bring them to speed, because if you decide to run against the wind with your spouse, sorry, you're done. There's no way you're going. You are not going anywhere. So you have to bring your spouse on board. And I know there's a package for centonomy for that. So I went and I had to look for a parcel, and when I was looking for a parcel, everyone was discouraging me. How do you want to buy this? How? You want to build what? A 3-story building, 3 bedrooms. That was my dream. You barely have 20,000 shillings every other month. Actually, you actually have Lisa every other month. So you want to build what? So the first thing, when you tell someone a vision like that, the architect himself charges you 300,000. And can I tell you something? I paid the architect 20,000 shillings to start off. Later on, that money that I paid was all because I got an opportunity with Maskani, which is Bamburi. And I went, I paid up the monies. As we speak right now, I'm at a point of every single day, as I work hard, because I work very hard. As I work very hard, I work hard to ensure that I am growing out of poverty. Because after I finish my rentals, I will be looking towards saying that, you know what, I'm out of this. And lastly, one of the things that I would say, I love a phrase, a verse in the Bible. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11, that says, I have seen something else in the sun. The race is not for the swift, or the battle for the strong, or does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, and favor to the learned. But time and chance happen to them all. You are here, you've been given an opportunity, you're given a chance. It is for you to just action. It is either today or today. Thank you.
It's today, isn't it? Soft life, hard life? Yeah. One more time, soft life, hard life, real life. What he was talking about is true. Let me just clarify. Hey, a house is an asset, okay? It's just that it is what we call at centonomy a floor set or a consumption asset. What does that mean? If you own your own house and you live in it, does it put money in your pocket? What does it do? Now ask Peter how much he pays for his grass to be cut outside. Ask Peter how much he pays in land in taxes to the government for the place that he's living. Ask how much he has to pay for the place to be clean, isn't it? That's one of the things. So you want to ensure, and this is what we talk about in centonomy, you want to ensure that you have other assets that will take care of you while you're in your own home. Is that all right? All right, next up we've got our next speaker, a good friend. Now we've become friends as well. She's a singer, songwriter, an all-round great human being. Put your hands together for Olivia Ambani, as she comes to share her experience as well.
How are you feeling today? Good, bad, in between? So, as Wailaka introduced me, my name is Olivia Mani. I'm a singer-songwriter, a proud creative, and I attended the personal 101 centonomy course. So I'm going to share a little bit about my experience. But 12 years ago, I was sitting somewhere in these seats, and I was listening to people talk. Now, I did not register for centonomy then, but I remember thinking to myself, wow, those people know a lot about money. But my journey took a couple more years before I did centonomy. I literally graduated this year from centonomy. Now, when I was sitting where you were, I had dreams to make money, but also dreams to become a musician. Then I did not know how I was going to make it happen, but fast forward 12 years later, I've released my debut album, I've collaborated with people in different parts of the world, and I'm so grateful that that dream came true. But when I was working on my music dream and in life, there are different things that would happen. So I would make money and I'd get to a place where I'm like, okay, now I'm growing. And then I don't know what would happen. Maybe an emergency would happen and then I felt like I would go back to zero. So I started noticing this cycle. And when I talked to my family and I'd ask them, okay, how did you guys invest? What did you do? I don't know if your family talks about money, but mine didn't. They'd say, you can try this. And they were not very clear. So I decided I'm going to start having money conversations with people. So I'd ask people, what do you do? What do you invest in? What is it that you're doing? Because I started to understand that if I don't start talking about money, I'm just going to stay at this same level where you're in this cycle. You earn money and then something happens and you don't grow beyond where you are. So when I started talking to people about money, I started to learn about investment, different investments. But I still felt like I was stuck until the opportunity of centonomy came my way. And I registered for centonomy, and I want to share with you like 3-4 things that I learned. One of the biggest takeaways for me was mindset. I know that many times people tell you what you think about money, and even Peter mentioned it, is really important, but I cannot emphasize it enough. So I'd like to ask you a quick question. When was the last time that you said, I'm broke? Right? Did you think recently, right? Or I don't have enough money, or this economy, right? Now, it's not that it may not be your reality, but what I started to realize is the more I start to identify with I am this thing, that's how I'm going to think. And in centonomy, they really encourage us to change the way we speak about money, the way we talk about money from I am broke to maybe I am doing my best to figure things out. So you don't have to have the answers. So I started to ask myself different questions, and I started to look at my problems not as something that will limit me, but I can find a solution. And so from that, I started to ask myself, okay, what can I do differently? How can I start talking differently about money, thinking differently about money? Which leads me to point number 2, which is action. In fact, the biggest cheerleader in centonomy for action is Mr. Wailaka. So he would come into our classes and he'd ask us, so you've been learning these things, what are you doing? Like every time he'd ask us, what are we doing? So I had a business idea that I'd been putting on hold for 3 years, and to sell undergarments for men, women, and children. And I was like, you know what, I'm doing music, I'm doing other things, I don't have the time. That wasn't true. I was just analysis paralysis. So I started to work on that business, and during centonomy, I was very happy to make 10,000 shilling sales on that business. Now I know it may be a little or a lot to some people, but what I learned was I needed to start. The second thing I did when it came to action was I started to look at my rates as a musician. I was grossly undercharging because I felt like, no, I don't think I'm big enough, so I shouldn't ask for this money. When I sat down and did the math, how much it costs to do rehearsals, hire a band, travel to this place, buy outfits, I was like, why am I charging this money? So now I charge way better, I'm earning better, and so my wealth is growing. The third thing that I did, or that I learned from centonomy, was generational wealth. Now, how many of us want to build generational wealth? Anyone? Yes? So that's something that I learned. And one of the most amazing things I learned was that you can actually set up a trust. So I don't know how many of you have heard, this line, or somebody's a trust fund baby, or, they enjoy that sort of soft life. So in centonomy, I learned that, imagine you and I can actually set up a trust for our children, or for anybody who you want to benefit from that. And so I was really amazed. I was like, little me can actually set up a trust. So I learned about that. But the three things I learned around generational wealth was one, knowledge is power. Any wealthy, rich person knows this. The knowledge you have will give you access to so many rooms. The second thing I learned was the power of community. Because being around all these amazing people who are learning, but also the trainers, I was able to now ask questions, and now I have resources beyond, like if I need something, I'll just call my luck and be like, hey, by the way, I have this idea, what do you think I should do? And then the third thing that I learned was that you can start exactly where you are. Whether you have 10 bob, whether you have 1,000 shillings, generational wealth is not built because you have millions, it's built because you started. So for me, that was something that I decided. I was like, I am going to change my life one choice at a time. And so I'd like to leave you by asking you a few questions. Number one, what are you saying and talking about money? Is money your friend? You know, what conversations do you have around money? Number two, do you even talk about money? Because the one thing I have learned is the more you talk about money, money will find you. So if you want more money, start talking about it. And if you have friends who are not comfortable talking about money, find new ones. Because you want to know, right? Rich people talk about money, right? They talk about money. So get comfortable talking about money. And then the last thing I would like to say is, please start. You're one choice away from literally being a millionaire. I know it sounds like a big thing, but one step at a time. I truly believe that you can change your life the way I was able to change my life. Thank you.
Wow. Olivia, we want to find you on social media. How do we find you?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, but just look for Olivia Ambani. And also if you want to listen to my music, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. So just search for Olivia Ambani. I'm everywhere.
So one more hand for Olivia. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, what she said is true. It is about mindset. I hope you wrote that down. Number 2 was action. And number 3 was what? Hey, did I miss something? That was the last point she asked you about generation. It was about you can start where you are. And it is about the choices that we make in the environment that you are in. What choices are you willing to make? Each one of us has made, hey, in some area of your life you found success. Am I right? Yeah? And it came from specific choices. So I want us to take just a moment. Somebody next to you, I want you to tell them, what is a hard choice that you made that brought about success? Tell them next to you, because we each have a story. Somebody seated next to you. Tell them about a hard choice that you made that brought about success in your life. Whatever it was, waking up early to study in school, starting that business. For those who are online, let me speak to you just now. In the chat box, please write down what choices have you made that brought about success where you are. Just take a moment. Type in the chat box there. What have you done? Because you have found success in some area of your life. Just like that. Yeah, there are some people at the back there who are still telling the story. Keep going. Yeah. Keep them coming. Yeah. Hey, we'll have time after this. You can continue afterwards. So, I'd like you to, for one moment, think about it this way. Each one of you, as you were telling your story, you made a choice based on an outcome that you wanted, right? So if it was like what Peter said, I want an A, you don't just get an A in school, right? It means you have to study. So if I have to study, let's look at that process. I want an A. Did you see? That's the goal. So it means I have to do what? To study. Good. How do I make sure that I'm studying? Somebody shout out to me. Type in the chat box. I do what? Make time. Now, for different people, there are those who are morning people, there are those who are evening people. So you make time in the time that works for you, isn't it? So make time. Then what's the next thing? After you've made time, you've decided I'll be studying at this time. Then what must you do after that? Actually, study. So what happened was, by setting a goal, it informed action that you needed to take. And a big part of that is that, of what we do in the Centonomy 101 program, is setting goals so that it informs the actions that you must make, but you still have to make the choice that we had from here, from these people, to do the work. And once you have done it, it results in the outcome that you want. But guess what? Just like Peter said a couple of moments ago, and what Ken was saying and what Olivia was saying, is once you have achieved that goal, guess what? There's another goal. So can I give you something that would help you? At least it has helped me on my journey as far as growing wealth and also growing in purpose as we go along. Please write this down. Learn to enjoy the journey. Learn to enjoy the journey. So, I told you I was at 105 kilograms at the end of last year. All 5'10" of me. Since the beginning of this year, I have now lost over 10 kilograms in this period of time. Because by the grace of God, I am learning to enjoy the journey. So at first it was very hard, because what was I aiming for? You say I set the goal. You know, you put down a number. I will not tell you my number because I'll tell you once I achieve it. Check back in the open day at the end of this year. In September somewhere, check back. We'll see when I've gotten to that goal. But I was looking for that goal, and so every day you go on the weighing scale, you put yourself there, you're like, if you keep doing that, then you lose purpose along the way. So what happened was, now change the attitude and say, I'm enjoying the journey now. So here's the example from the class that changed my life. And thank you, Sheke, for sharing this. She had told us when I attended the class, hey, I am a student of centonomy as well. We talked about the idea that how many of us would like to travel in our life? You want to be like our brother Peter, Kuala Lumpur, you want to go to Paris, you want to go... Yes, good. So how many of you have traveled to Naivasha recently? You know, we are so busy looking for the Paris experience that we've never done the Naivasha. We've never done the... There's so much around us right now that we've never done. And so even on your investment journey, because we are real about these investment journeys, it's going to take time. But during that journey, what are you doing to enjoy as well? So if you're saying travel is important to you, then travel. I laughed at myself because a couple of years back, by the grace of God, we took a trip with my wife and we went to New York City. And in New York City, one of the biggest things is to go to those buildings. You know them? There's the Empire State Building, there's the Rockefeller Center, and all you do is get in an elevator and you go up, and then you stand over the city and you look at it. And let me tell you something, let me inform you, let me spoiler alert, okay? When you get to New York City, if you look over it, it's just buildings. So you look this way, buildings, then you look this way, buildings, and a small area of green in the middle of it, the Central Park, okay? When I came home, I was so challenged a couple of years back because I've lived in this city of ours. And how many of you have ever gone to KICC and overlooked our own city of Nairobi? Which is even more beautiful, let me tell you, it is even more beautiful than that New York City that I went to look at. It's just because I saw them in the movies. And it's only 200 bob as a citizen to be able to go up there. Have you been there? 3, 4, 5 hours. So there's an experience that we're waiting for. Hey, I'm trying to encourage you to plan for New York, plan for Eiffel Tower, plan for those things. But on the journey, are we taking in the experiences that we want when? Now. So it takes thought and it takes planning. And this is one of the benefits of the Centonomy 101 program. What you've heard from the alumni who come and spoken here before is that we are going to challenge you to think about your life. There's this sense in which people think that one day I'll just trip, fall, and I'll be wealthy. It doesn't happen. One day I'll trip and fall, a job will open up for me. One day there'll be a deal, a tender, that is going to arrive, and suddenly I'm going to be what? Wealthy. Can I tell you the truth? Can I tell you the truth? Even when those opportunities come, because as you heard, Peter, thank you so much for saying that, opportunities always come. But it is the one who is prepared for an opportunity who takes advantage of it. So when a tender comes, if you've never done a small project, can you do that tender that is being offered? If a tender comes, you've not registered your business, can you be able to do that tender? You can't be able to do it. So let's be purposeful with our time and with our money. In the Centonomy 101 program, this is the program that you go through. We start off by saying, personal money management. If you cannot handle 100 shillings, I assure you, you cannot handle 100 million. If you cannot handle $2 in your pocket, you cannot handle $200,000. And so we start off by questioning, and it's such a transformative moment, because most of us don't know where our cash is going. Everybody in the room, take out your mobile phone right now. I'm going to get into trouble. Because we have the chief financial services officer of the company I'm about to speak of just now in the room. Please get out your phone. If you are Kenyan, go to your M-Pesa messages because you have them. I know. Just go there. Go to that place. If you're outside of the country and you don't use M-Pesa for all those who are online, please go open up your bank statement. In fact, first of all, do you even have your last bank statement? If you do, open it up. I want you, don't even look at what you sent or what you received. Just start scrolling and add up the transaction costs for each one. Just do it, just do it. Esther, close your ears. Don't listen to what's going on. Don't listen to what's happening here. Just add up the transaction costs. Just add a few of them. Just keep scrolling through those messages. Don't look at what you sent, what you received. No. Just add up the transaction costs. If you're online and you're in Kenya, please do the same. If you're online and you're out of the country, get your bank statement and look at the transaction costs that you have. Now, can I be politically correct?
Yes.
How many of you are aware of those numbers? In the last class, one of our students stood up and said, with what I have spent on transaction costs this last year, I could have bought a plot. Hold on. Esther, don't worry, I'm coming to you just now. What the problem was, not the convenience of the service, but a misuse of it. Because even a good thing can be misused. Isn't it? So that here's the thing. If I am sending to Peter, who's all the way in let's say he's in Kisumu. No, it was Ken, sorry. Ken was in Kisumu this morning and came this morning just to be with us. Thank you so much for that. If I was to send Ken some cash in Kisumu and I have 1,000 bob in my pocket, it makes so much sense to get my phone out and send it. Isn't it? Saves me the trouble. But we've gotten so used to it that we'll sit right next to Ken. Ken, I have 1,000 bob in my pocket, burning. And then say, no, let me use my M-Pesa. So we are out of control. So even if it is convenient and can save you money, M-Pesa has saved me hundreds of thousands of shillings, traveling, sitting in traffic, paying for parking, moving like that. But I can also misuse that same service. Do you know what you're spending? After that, now we begin to set goals. So some of us, at the beginning of this session, we figured out that a loaf of bread is going to cost you how much? We said it? Somewhere in the region of 400 to 500 shillings in the next 20 years. Did you know? Were you planning for it? Or is it something that you can begin to organize for yourself right now? After that, we get into the debt management. So many of us are in debt, whether it is mobile debt, whether it is credit card, whether it's whatever kind of debt that you're using. But are you using it for growth or is it taking you backwards? And in the class, we give you the tools to be able to manage and come out of bad debt. If you're going to take notes, write this down as quickly as you possibly can. The difference between good debt and bad debt. Here's a simple rule of thumb. Good debt goes towards assets. Did you hear that? So assets that are growing in value, they put money in your pocket or they protect your investment. That's a good debt. Bad debt, write this down, goes towards consumption. So if you're borrowing to use and just eat, that's dangerous. Because there is no return and you're paying more than what is worth in that space. In the class, we show you how debt works. We give you a debt repayment plan that gets you out of debt as quickly as possible. And that's part of the aim of what we're going to do. Once we've done that, now we get into living abundantly. Because it is both things that we've talked about today, setting the goal and enjoying the journey. If you have not set the goal and begin to think how you're going to enjoy the journey, that's what the Living Abundantly module is all about. Now I know, people, why do most of us get into the centonomy class? We want to learn about what? Investments. I assure you, I can sit here and talk to you, stand here and talk to you for 2.5 hours, 3 hours about shares. But if you have no goal, it doesn't help you. So you can write this down so that you don't forget those who are in the room. The best investment that you can make, because people always ask, what is the best investment? The best investment is the one that matches your goal. I hope you write that, you've written that down. The best investment is which one? The one that matches your goal. So if you have no goal, it doesn't matter what I'm telling you. Because even when we're talking about investing in the stock market, there are those who are investing for income. There are those who are investing for growth. There are those who are investing for storage, maintenance. All those in the money market fund, raise your hand, look at them, they're all here. We are investing, correct? No. Can I help you with that? Remember we said the best investment is the one that matches your goal. Can I help you with money market fund you are saving? It's a unit trust, but for what? For savings. Are you investing?
No.
No. So how do we invest? I tell you, ignorance is a real issue. So in the unit trust class we begin to describe the different unit trusts that are available. What they are, first of all. What is a unit trust? What do they do? Which one matches the goals that you have? So that we are not all in the same investment thinking that it is going to achieve the goal that we want. We learn about real estate, we learn about the stock market as well, because these are investment classes that will inform your use of others along the way. Because I know many of us are interested in, for instance, you're interested in cryptocurrency, you're interested in NFTs, you're interested in commodities. If you don't understand the fundamentals, you cannot be able to apply in that same space. So we learn the fundamentals so you can apply it in the area that you're interested in. After that, we get into the protection classes. And if you make money and you cannot protect it, you're in danger. We had it over here, and Ken mentioned it, I believe Olivia did, and Peter as well. They talked about this idea of sustenance. So when we learn about insurance, what does insurance mean? Is it an investment or is it for protection? Which one have you chosen? So in the insurance class, again, it is taught by an industry expert, and they're not coming to sell you insurance, they're coming to tell you what works. After that, we learn about estate planning from a lawyer, so that you understand when you heard I could put together a trust. What does that mean? What does it mean for our kids, and what does it mean even as we move forward? When we learn about tax, many of us are paying tax whether we like it or not, correct? Do you know if you're paying more than you should? Are you getting all the benefits from the investments that you're making? What is it that you're doing there? And so we learn from a tax expert as well. After that, we put all this knowledge into a 5-year financial plan. Why? Because 5 years is a good measure, and it allows you to be able to adjust within that period for the next goal, and the next, and the next. That's what we're aiming for here at centonomy. And so here's the thing. Within the program, it starts on the 8th of June, and it starts on the 8th of June, and classes run twice a week during the week evenings, and on the weekend on Saturday morning. That's when the classes run, okay? You only come for one class per week. So you either choose an evening class during the week from 6 to 8:30, or on Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Am I correct? Yes, that is correct. So you choose one of those two, and you come for one class per week for 12 weeks. All right? Now, we are all busy, correct? And so on Tuesday, the meeting overran at the office, so you missed class. You are welcome to come on Saturday. On Saturday, there's a wedding happening. I can't make it for class that day. You're welcome to come in on Tuesday. And something that is becoming so real, especially for those who are online, is that people are saying, hey, I understood the class, but I want to revise. We're seeing people attending class even more than once because the availability is there. All right? So please make that choice even as you register. And today, as always, during our open day, we always give a registration discount. It's only 500 shillings to register today. You can register, you can register on the M-Pesa 98. You can write it down, 986850. I told you you're using M-Pesa. We are your customers, fear no. 986850. 986850 is the M-Pesa. You put in your name and the number 101 afterwards. Take advantage of the discount on the registration. Usually it's 1,500. Always during our open days, today, you're going to register at only 500 shillings through that M-Pesa. And I know online, I know we're going to be able to share with you the details. If you're outside of Kenya, we'll be able to share with the details how you can make that payment. I want you to make that choice today. 986850. The M-Pesa number, and the amount is only 500 shillings, and that will get you into the class. Once you have registered, we'll reach out to you and send you all the details. There's a full orientation pack that prepares you for class. We give you the payment plan as well, and the payment plan is flexible for your purposes. So that we recognize maybe you don't have the full amount that is available at this point to be able to pay at once, but that you're able now to pay it in installments even as you go forward. So take advantage of it, and I know everyone in the room had that flyer that has been given to you. You can use it even as you go. If you didn't get it, we can be able to get it to you as well. So take advantage of it right now, register for the class today, and as we get towards it, you will receive your orientation pack, and once you've gotten your orientation pack, you'll be able to come into the class starting on the 8th of June. Alright, so we're going to try something. We have to be flexible in life, right? And we're going to try something in the next couple of minutes. Our dear brother, Mr. Johnson Wakazi, who we had invited to come. Unfortunately, this morning, one of his children was quite unwell, and he wasn't able to make it here. But he said, well, I'm going to try and log in online. So we're going to try something. We're going to try and see if we can get him up on the screen now and listen to his story shortly. And once we've done that, then we'll move on from there. So guys, if you can help me out and see if we can get Brother Johnson onto the screen now as we go. One more time, 986850 for the M-Pesa number. Excellent. There you go.
All right. Wow.
There you are, Johnson.
Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Keep us together because I don't want Aka looking at me badly. All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning, those who are here. Good morning, those who are with us online. It's such a pleasure to have you here today. Now, today, as I was driving here, I thought this is the soft life for me. You know why? Because all I was in this open day was an invited guest speaker. I have done nothing. I was told where the venue is, I was told where the date is, I was told these are your co-speakers, I was told the time I show up. But I went back. This particular Centonomy 101 started Centonomy. And I used to teach a lot of the classes, but not just teach. I would wake up, it between me and the house help, we make the mandazis, we make the sausages. The night before I bought the milk. So I arrived there in time to set up the tea, the registration table, and then by the time people come in, I've stepped in to be the teacher. And I think that's the thing about life. It may look soft, but there's a process to it. And we've got to understand that. Does everybody here have something that is very good in their life that somebody else would call soft? Yeah? And remember, it's a matter of perception. To some people, just because you have lunch, you're gonna eat lunch today, that is soft life. You understand that, yeah? So everybody has something. And it could be more than that. It could be the way you live, it could be a car, it could be so many things, yeah? Do you all have something that's just there? It's just there. Neither hard, neither difficult, not particularly inspiring, but it's just there, it's just part of your life. Do you have something in your life? Yeah? And do you have something hard going on? Do you have a challenge going on? Is there anybody here who does not have a challenge going on? Lucky you. So imagine that that's life. And then it just keeps evolving in different ways. So imagine you have these drawers in your house where you keep your clothes. And the purpose of the drawers is to chomoa an outfit for you every day. In the top drawer, what do you think you keep in the top drawer? The nice stuff. The stuff you value, you want access to it quickly. If a visitor comes to your house, you can quickly enter that drawer and change your top immediately and look fantabulous, correct? All right. Then there's the middle drawer. It's okay, but nobody's going to stop in the street because you're wearing those clothes, correct? Then there's the bottom drawer. Those cold July weekends. That old sweater you've had for 15 years, but it is so warm. But God forbid anybody sees you in it. Yeah? And that's what makes up our life. But this is the lie we have been told. That every day should be soft. Every day should be bright colors. Every day people should be looking at you and saying, wow. And the world perceives us that way. The day you have a soft look, what does the world assume? You drive a nice car, what does the world assume? That your entire life is soft. You have a nice sounding job title, what does the world assume? Soft. You have a business that has done well, what does the world assume? Everything is soft. Then the day you go to the bottom drawer, you're wearing that bad tracksuit that you only wear in the house, but you had to rush to the supermarket. Then, unfortunately, you are seen. What do they then assume? Gosh, have you seen Washeke lately? Things are hard. Yeah? Because the world sees only one color at a time, but you are not one color. You have all those things going on. But the lie, and we give ourselves so much pressure for it, that it should be soft. I should aspire to soft. Anything less than soft or good all the time is what? It is failure. We are always even to ourselves, beating ourselves down, correct? For not having it all together, correct? We are constantly beating ourselves down. Instagram, social media, the biggest lie ever. Everybody puts their soft life on social media. There are kids that are behaving. They didn't know they were being trampled just 10 minutes ago. Yeah? So, I went to, interesting you are mentioning, I came back from Paris on Monday. I went for a global conference, like the conferences where there are flags from every corner of the world. So if you look at my Instagram, you'll see conference in Paris. You'll see me in the cuteness of France, Eiffel Tower, you know, all those. And it looks such a soft life. This is what you don't see. To enter this organization that I've just been uninvited into, it was 3 years of being rejected left, right, and center. Being told I'm too small, I'm not the right representative for financial literacy, I'm not this, try again, to be a member organization, do you have $100,000? Of course I don't have $100,000. So we don't put that side of things. Centonomy today is 14 years. And I'm very, very proud of Centonomy. I'm so proud to be the founder of something that has had such a great impact that brings you all here today, physically and online. But guess what? It's 14 years of the entire chest of drawers. Yeah, this happened because of the entire chest of drawers. What I am most proud of and has built me more is the making tea for the classes. What has built me more is the time I couldn't even afford to fuel my car to go see a client. What has built me more is the time I had to wait 4 hours to see a client just to be paid 3,000 shillings to work on their financial plan. Now you're kept outside someone's office because you don't matter. Yeah? Those are the things that build us. KRA audits, loss of sleep. I'm so proud. And to anybody who has any sort of good thing going on in their life or platform in their life, don't we do the world a disservice when we don't talk about the other side? Because people want what you want, but they don't know what you have gone through to get there. So when you get a potato, is it hard or is it soft? It is hard. What does it take for the potato to get soft? Boiling. Heat. So in every soft, and it is fine to aspire to something soft. Yeah, I could never have started centonomy if I didn't aspire to travel, truth be told. Yeah, I could not have aspired, yeah, I could not have done this, yeah. But understand that in every soft there is a hard. So in whatever you want today, are you prepared for the other side of the equation? Don't tell me about what you want. Tell me about what are you prepared to do, including facing yourself, your fear of rejection, yeah, including not being able to get out of bed in the morning and wondering if something is wrong with you. Do you look at somebody else and want what they have? It's okay. I want what Peter has, but let me talk to Peter and understand what has he gone through. And thank you so much for sharing your story. It was so inspiring. So, we want the soft side of money a lot. What money can do to make our lives soft. But we want the actual responsibility of creating and managing wealth. That's why in Centonomy 101, yes, we can teach you how to make money, and we do, but let's also teach you how to manage it, how to keep it. You can get out of debt, that's fine. You get out of debt by paying back debt. You can learn to pay back debt, but can you stay out of debt? Because staying out of debt means you investigate your habits, which is harder, and what is going on in your life. You can get a house, but will you hold on to that house even when you retire and you no longer have a monthly salary? Am I speaking to someone here? Yeah? You can start a business. Starting a business is not difficult. Running a business is not difficult, but can you sustain a business to the point that it actually gives you back your investment? It actually creates a life for you. Are you willing to do that work? So those who benefit from the good and want to benefit from the good have to critically analyze, am I ready for the other side, or is something thinking I can get it the soft way? So this is what does not happen. This is what is not going to happen. Soft life the soft way. You understand? There's no soft life the soft way. Even if you have a sponsor, there's hardship in that already. You're putting up with them. There's no soft life the soft way. Yeah? I think that's just harder, actually, yeah? Dealing with that. So just understand, whatever it is you want, I wanted you to understand this. Whatever it is you want, there's an other side of the equation that you have to really ask yourself. So please want, there are opportunities. There is wealth, don't be cheated, there is wealth out there. But do you want the other side of the equation? You admire somebody's career, sit with them. Sit with them. Stop watching YouTube about funny people. Sit with that person and find out, tell me about your failures. That is the most important thing. Then, as I said, there are the middle drawers. The in-between. And in between, life can look comfortable sometimes and boring at times. In between means you're making it. You're making ends meet. Yeah? Life is working. The kids are okay. You are trudging along. So we like saying, how are you doing? Surviving. You are surviving. But it's okay, but rarely meets the description of fulfilling. But first of all, I want you to understand there's nothing wrong with having a middle in your life. And again, the mistake is towards this journey, every day I should wake up in the morning filled with passion and purpose and reaching for the stars every day. Do any of you wake up every day? Only you're a singer. When you're singing, we can see the passion, but is it every day? I can tell you, sitting here 14 years, it is not every day. Life does have monotony. And I think as we have gotten to a point where because the celebrities are so highlighted and their lifestyles are so highlighted, we think that the monotonous part of our life, something is wrong. But don't you know, it's many monotonous things sometimes that get you a result. I had to teach centonomy 101 over and over and over and over and over again. Have this open this over and over again to see some of the results that we are seeing. The monotony of saving 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 is what leads to the 100 million. So when we dispute monotony in our lives or routine, we are also setting ourselves up for failure because it doesn't happen another way. And then fine, when you are feeling what is not okay is to think that that is all there is to life and to get stuck in monotony only. But let me tell you something about the middle that many people don't realize. If you're feeling in that middle, it is the best place to make a change. What is in the middle of a fruit? A seed. Because it gives you a chance to reflect backwards. Let me tell you, this wardrobe, when you look back at your life, you realize that in that middle drawer, there's a top you forgot. That when you remove it, when you declutter a little and remove it, and then you wear it, it changes the whole outfit, but you have not put it in the top drawer, you forgot about it. So there are gems in you that you forgot as well. So even when you're feeling stuck or in your middle and feeling what, it's a perfect time to do something different, to reflect. I actually wrote my book, Making Sense, which is outside, in a middle season. Nothing spectacular was happening with the business. It was just, trudging along. Yeah, just there. Then I looked back and looked at all the stories, all the people who we've worked with. And then came out, and then came the book. If you're in that middle stage of life, people who are 40 and above, do you hear me? Sometimes we feel, oh my goodness, I don't have the right bank account. But it's a perfect time to look at what is my experience, what am I good at, and how do I position it going forward. So you have a lot to work with in the middle. It helps you see your wardrobe has actually come a long way. So work on that, but don't get into a panic where you go and now swipe your credit card to change your wardrobe instantly, to look flashy instantly. So what is real life? The combination of all that. The soft, the hard, the in-between. The entire chest of drawers makes up your wardrobe. Life will have some hard things going on, some good things, some in-between. And the aim of life is not for it to stop being hard or even boring sometimes. Jesus himself said, in this life you will have trials, but I have overcome. And it is to just believe that. And when the good comes, don't feel guilty about it. The aim is not for others to see how good your life is. The aim is not to be jumping out of every day with passion. The aim is not to get stuck thinking that in-between is all there is to life, at the same time not resenting the in-between. The aim is to be crystal clear about what do you want. Why? Please write this down. Why do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get it? What do you want? Why do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get it? You, not what you have been told to want, you. And you know why it has to be you? Anybody want to take a guess? Because there's going to be hardship. Because it's going to be hard. There's going to be some work. There's going to be something to get it out of the comfort zone. That's why this wardrobe has to be designed by you. It is only you who can determine what do you want to wear. And when you look back in your life, and generally speaking, you can look back and start saying, I generally got to wear the clothes I wanted to wear. That's a good life. So define these clothes, yeah? So the role of your chest of drawers is to produce this outfit. Your role, because the chest of drawers belongs to you, is to figure out what goes on the top, what goes in the middle, what goes in the bottom, so it starts producing more and more and more of the kind of outfits that you want to wear. Are we together? So how do you get the best out of your chest of drawers? There's so many things that we need to do, but I'm just going to talk about 3 things: money, time, and grit. Okay? Money. I realized in my journey, and I use this quote when I'm speaking, and it's in the book. It was the foundation of my book. Money is a tool for the life that you want, but in itself, it is not the life. If you want 10 million, when you get 10 million, what will you want? 20. When you get 20, what will you want? Even if you get a billion and you're still thinking it's about money, what will you still want? That's why we are billionaires still seeking more and more and more. So, the gamblers who win loads of money instantly their life is made soft, correct? What happens? They are broke. They did not have the capacity to handle the money. So the aim is to reorder your finances to work towards your wardrobe. Is it a home? Is it a business? Is it to educate your kids? Is it to travel? Is it to leave a legacy? So your aim is to restructure that. Will more money be part of it? Yes, but it's more money towards a purpose, not more money for the sake of more money. Yeah? It's to start answering the questions. What are my risks? My wardrobe, is it causing a risk? If you lose your salary today, or your business stops generating income today, like we saw over the pandemic, what happened in your life? What will happen? Then you know your wardrobe is on shaky ground. Yeah? So before you start aspiring for the stars, can you sort out that problem with an emergency fund? Yeah? Before you start copying your neighbor and buying your neighbor's car, can you sort out that problem first? How do you get your business to produce financially for you and for the people you employ? That's what money is for. So start asking yourself, what job description do I want to give my money? Give your money, in case you have not heard me correctly, give your money a job description. Time is the next tool. If you spend 2 hours a day doing something useless, following someone useless, traffic, but sometimes you can't avoid it, TV, whatever. If you spend 2 hours a day on something not useless, and I'm not saying we should never relax, I'm just giving you context, that is equivalent to 728 hours, which is 30 days in a year. If someone came and gifted you a month, what would you be able to do with it? A month. A month, I created Centonomy 101. Yeah? Those are the kind of hours I probably spent hustling this organization so that eventually I go to Paris. Yeah? So you've got to understand, what are we doing with your times? Learn to stop, think, evaluate. Even if you have 0 in your bank account, you always have something that you can use as long as you have time. And time is the one thing we can never get back. I can make money and lose money, but I can never get back an hour that I lost. Ever. Ever. There's no supermarket for I'm here to buy 3 hours. How much is it? There's nothing like that, yeah? Then grit comes from just the understanding that there are going to be hard things going on in my life. I cannot take on a victim mentality. And your hardship is your hardship, and it is valid to feel bad. But you are not special for having problems. Leave the bottom where it should be, the bottom. Deal with what you can deal and then leave it. Put your mind somewhere else. I have learned to center myself on something that I have done well. So when I'm going through something bad, I always go back to a past experience. Yeah, whether it's with a client. In fact, I pull out a lot even from my childhood. Remember that day in the standard 6 class you were fast because you studied so hard and people didn't think you could be fast. Pull out those experiences. Make yourself your primary motivator. It's good to listen to motivational speakers, but what about motivating yourself? There is something in your life that if you recall, it gets you out of the bottom drawer. The problem is that we keep going back to the negative things. So that you can understand there will be problems, but I already have the tools to actually deal with those problems. Let's switch your mindset. What exposure do I need? What conversations do I need to be having? What do I actually need to learn? I started teaching money in centonomy when I actually had no money. So it was the opposite of what I should be doing, simply by being exposed to people doing different things and seeing that even based on my own personal story, there was a gap. You don't wait for your problems to end before you move on. And then note the distractions that are in your life. Those ones should not be in the drawer at all. If something is actually a distraction, get rid of it. If a habit is distracting you, if there's watching TV for entertainment, but there's watching TV where you're actually addicted to it, get rid of it. It is what we call, like calling centonomy. Do you have a poverty support group? Exit the poverty support group. Then, oh, life is so hard and we're never going to go anywhere support group. If you are chair of the poverty support group, please resign and save other people. If you're constantly in the mindset, I don't have enough time, money, or other people's expectations are always weighing you down and distracting you from what you should be doing, handle it. Yeah? Women especially, let me give you a shout out to women. We are always taught, please sort everybody else out first. And then when there's a little time, sort yourself out first. Please reverse that. Because it's weighing you down. It's time to ask yourself, what do I want to wear? Because guess what? When you fill your own cup, you are able to fill other people's cups better. Yeah? Excuses of fear. So, I'm finishing. I want to give you some homework. Go and draw that chest of drawers. Top, middle, bottom. What is currently sitting at the top?
Lunch! We didn't even finish the whole lunch if you go to certain restaurants. Okay, where else will 500 shillings go on this side? Shout at me. If we go to shoes, those ones that are just, they are laid on your way. So you almost fall over them as you're going to traffic, isn't it? 500 shillings, where else can it go? Where else can it go? Here's the thing. You walk out of this door here. Sorry for those who are online, just bear with me for a second. You walk out of this door, you look and you say, that matatu, I was going to use it, but you know what? Let me just do. The choices we make with 500. I'm challenging you now. Make the choice to get into this class. That first step, it's always a hard one. Because imagine it's committing and saying, I'm going to do this thing. You heard from Olivia, where she's gone out for a second. You heard from Olivia a couple of minutes ago. She said she sat in this room 10 years ago. Listened. But when did she do the class? Last year. And many of those who have been through the program come back and say, I wish I made the choice. As Washeke said, the one resource you'll never get back is time. So get out your phone, go to M-Pesa, 986850. Put in 500 shillings, register for the class, put in your name and the number 101, and then we're going to head into that class. What happens when you make that first step is then you say, hey, imagine I've registered. Let me go for the first class. After you go for the first class, then you say, okay, maybe module 2. After that, before you know it, it is 3 years later and you're coming to share an experience like Ken here and saying, I've built up rental properties which are going to start taking care of my family. But if you don't make that first step, you'll never get there. It is my ultimate pleasure to invite our next speaker, who is the Chief Financial Services Officer of Safaricom, Please put your hands together for Esther White as well. Please share your experience.
So good afternoon, everybody. So what Waidaka hasn't told you is also learning from childhood. So I'm not that old. So Waidaka and I grew up in the same neighborhood, and so it's really nice to see, when Johnson talked about networks and people who have invested in others, it's really, really good to see that we've gotten here together. Great, so Peter, Ken, Olivia, thank you so much for those inspiring words. We share something in common with Peter. I'm also a banker, now leading Safaricom. And Ken, thank you. You reminded me why I needed to get out of my mortgage very, very quickly for my house. And Olivia, you were really, truly very inspiring. But let me just go to Johnson. That voice. Okay, the ladies here can feel it, but I felt something. He was great. Johnson, that was amazing and truly, truly very, very inspiring. So, let me start, before I go to my title, whichever now will be relating to a soft life, let me start with who I am. So, I'm proud to be here, not only as Washeke's friend, but also as an alumni of centonomy. I have done all the courses, all of them. Not because I have friends who run centonomy, but because if I need to improve and if I need to grow and I need to lead others, the only way I can do it is by filling myself with knowledge. And that knowledge I have gotten. And I'm going to talk a little bit around how that has happened. I've done Centonomy 101, I have done entrepreneurship, I have done them. And sometimes I do feel like I need to do a repeat. So please do get something for the alumni so we can come back. Who am I? So I'm Esther Waitito, an adventurer at heart, and I travel a lot with my friend Washeke. So I was agreeing with Envy when she told me she's in Paris, and I was working, but that is how life is. I've always wanted to visit very many countries. I've visited 25 countries, and not because I've used my own money, and this is where wisdom and wealth comes in. The jobs you choose them also wisely. The opportunities that present themselves. If you're asked, please go and speak in Turkana, go. If you're asked to go and speak in Dar es Salaam, go. And while you're there, take some time to look around and understand exactly what's happening there. Because when you start to observe what people do, you start to understand that experiences are not unique to us. All the issues that we're facing, someone has gone through them and they have a solution. So that's what travel does for me. Then the other thing is I'm an eternal optimist. I always believe things are going to be just fine. Even the economy is going to be just fine. Yeah? No, that's a positive and a negative. Because the challenge of being always optimistic means that you lose out when things are really going bad. And so that middle ground that Washeke talked about, you might end up stocking too many things in there and not taking action. But that's me, and it's important that I share. The other thing is I love the outdoors. I truly love the outdoors. And small things. A plant, a flower, sitting out in the garden, that is me. I get my best thoughts when I walk. Washeke and I used to run a long time ago. But that is when we got our best moments of insights in terms of what we needed to do. So, why am I talking about the things that I like and why I like the outdoors? If I don't know what is important to me, it's difficult to determine how I'm going to invest. So one of the key things as we talk about living abundantly is I decided that because I love being outdoors, I'm going to invest in outdoor holidays. I'm going to plan towards making sure wherever I go, there's either the sea, a lake, a mountain, or a hill. And that's what I work towards. So I'm telling you a little bit about who I am because it's going to influence what my plan looks like. And it is true, in centonomy, we did learn a couple of things. I can't remember everything because I did my course in 2015, and that's a long time ago, but the principles remain true. Let me tell you one. which I think still disturbs my husband until today. One of the exercises you will do when you're trying to discover how you work with money is to take note of everything you spend money on. I'm so happy and I'm so proud to be an M-Pesa, leading M-Pesa, because now everything is in my statement, so I'll encourage you to do the same. But before that happened, I used to keep every single receipt. That's what we were asked to do. Make sure we keep every single receipt and note it down. First of all, it's the most tedious, as Washeke spoke about earlier, monotonous thing that you have to do. But when I did it, I saw exactly where my money was going. Not only did I see where my money was going, I also started to see where my time was going. My time was going to the hairdresser. My time, and these are not investments, because you have to go back again to do your hair, or your nails, or whatever it is. My money was going to clothes, and I said I loved my children so much, but look, the money was going to different places. So it started helping me to discover truly who I am and how much I need to balance in terms of moving ahead. So, why am I where I am today? Today I'm just going to talk a little bit of what has shaped my financial journey as a human being. So, growing up, and at the expense now, truly my age shall be revealed. Growing up, I grew up in the era where we had to go to the video library to borrow videos, and cassette, yes. So it was a video cassette player that we used to use. And one of my favorite, now we'll call them a series, but at that time, one of my favorite video cassette was Knight Rider. How many of you guys can relate to Knight Rider? Very few of us in the car. But let me describe Knight Rider a little bit. Knight Rider was this black car. It was called Kit. Yeah? It was a black Porsche. You know, it was like an amazing car. And the driver of the car was even hotter, a guy called David Hasselhoff. He was always wearing black leather. It's not the reason I want black today, but he was wearing black. So anyway, this car was state of the art. It used to talk to you, to tell him, you know, Michael was his name in the movie. Michael, turn left. Michael, I see danger ahead. They'd always solve all the problems. And I was like, damn, I want that black car. I want that black leather. I want to live that life. Reality, real life. Where we lived, it took us 1 kilometer to get to the matatu stop. So for me to meet anyone, to meet Washeke, I had to walk. Now, this is a story, and I don't know where my ex-boyfriend would be, but anyway, here's this, I do apologize. So I was going on my first date, and because I wanted to dress up and look nice, when my parents would leave in the morning, you'd normally hike a ride with them and then go hang out in town. When you're ready to see your friends, then you'd go at the right time. But this time I said, no, I needed to dress up, and perhaps my mom and dad did need to see how I was going to go on this date. And so I wore my nice dressed up, did my hair. At that time, the thing that was in was stompers. I don't know if you know them, but there was some thick black shoes, and yeah, anyway. So I've gone to the movies, and remember I walked 1 kilometer to get the Matri to take me to 20th century. So we sit and we've got popcorn, and I'm like, man, that walk of 1 kilometer was quite something. So I removed my shoes. So who can guess what happened? The guy's like, have you removed your shoes? I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy is telepathy. He knows that I removed my shoes. It was the smell of the sweat after I walked that time. So what is that telling me? Remember now I've gone to the story of Knight Rider. Yes? My dream of driving a black Porsche car, my reality is walking 1 kilometer with smelly feet to get to the movies. That is a reality. But was life bad? No, it wasn't. I'm actually watching a movie and I'm having a good time. So the lesson I wanted to give you here around money and around what that means is, it's in the small things that if you do consistently, you'll eventually get there. Fast forward, I can now drive a car of my choice. Knight Rider may be, that nice black Porsche may be a little bit too small, because also my life circumstances have changed. I have children, I've got aging parents, so that car may not be suitable. But where I am today, I can choose what it is I want to do. But I had to have a goal. I had to aspire towards doing something. So it is in the little things that you consistently do. And remember, the things that you have today did not land today. I think many of you are seeing me today and saying, okay, this is where she is, this is what she's doing. But listen to my story. I had to walk 1 kilometer to get to what I wanted. My first car, I had to really save. It was a carpool car. When we used to go out, when we wanted to go clubbing, we would fit in another green Mazda. I shall not tell you the name of the owner. But we would be in a small hatchback, 8 of us, and we'd all contribute for fuel. Okay? Come to a point where, as the support group that I have, we challenge each other to say, please, no, please allow me to pay, please allow me to pay. But this has taken a period of building up. So my friends, nothing comes easy, and it comes over time. Because the second lesson I want to talk to you about is that money needs patience. Anyone who tells you that money comes quick, fast, it is a lie. It needs patience. And it needs you not only to save, to invest, like what we're going to do in centonomy, but it also needs you to give others. I'm very inspired by what Johnson said. He is who he is today because he stood on others' shoulders. Equally, that is how we need to treat our money. When we make money and we save and we spend on ourselves, and we do not support those who are around us, what is going to happen? In this city, you will see around every big suburb in the city, there's always a... Why is there a slum? Next to every big, nice suburb. Any reason? Sorry? The reason that there is because in those informal settlements, those people support the ones who live in the other areas. We're not going to be at par at any point in our lives, but it is our duty when we have something to help someone else. It is our absolute duty, because you cannot succeed when you see your brother or your sister or your neighbor suffering. So one of the things about living abundantly is also thinking about how do you share abundantly. How do you ensure that the people around you are also getting and sharing and partaking? A governor, cabinet secretary gets appointed. What is one of the first things that they do? Exactly. It's a homecoming. Why do we do homecomings? When you win something, you do something, and we wait for people that, even our sportsmen and women, when they come back and they've won something, what do? We go and celebrate them. It's homecoming. It means that we are celebrating together and we're growing together. So as you think about how you invest your money and how you work with your money, it is important that you also think about what am I going to do for my neighbor and my keeper, because we all have an obligation to rise together. Wangari Maathai, for all the work that she did, has she lived to see it? Has her daughter lived to see it? Yes, her children have. And that is what generational wealth means. You do things that you may never, ever, sometimes even see. And that's what I want to encourage us. Even with our money, let's also make sure we're giving to other causes, things that we may never see. But in the end, will make a very big difference. The third thing that I wanted to share, the third lesson and the biggest insight for me, is that you also have to take risks. And I'm an ex-banker, and this is scary to say, but you must take a risk. And taking a risk is taking a bet on someone or something that you're not sure is going to work. When Washeke started centonomy and I walked the journey with her, not in our wildest dreams did she imagine that she's going to influence so many people. When I was coming this morning, I asked Waidaka, so how many people are there so I can know how I can manage my speech and what I'm going to say? And he told me there are 1,400 people who are registered today. When I came for my first open day, I think we were not more than 30. We were not more than 30. So take a bet on something that you have absolutely no idea how that's going to pan out. And when you're taking a risk, understand the power of a network. From the 30 people who came for the open day that day, a couple of us joined. Those who joined and went through the process invited others to come. They have formed groups. I am still in centonomy groups where we share ideas, especially on the entrepreneur side, where people say, hey, I'm selling houses. oh, okay, I've released an album, like, maybe you would have, and we support each other. So, in the process of making money, the power of networks is so important. But let me bring it closer before I make it about a business. When I started working, I was earning money for myself and taking care of myself. Fast forward, I find a nice guy, we get married. How nice was it to have two incomes and taking care of each other? It was exceptionally nice. Fast forward, you're pregnant and you're about to have children, and he comes home and tells you, my job, I've been made redundant. Okay? So that is a power of a network, because if you was alone, it would have been hard. But we're together. And then you build things together. So you take risks. You never know. Even as you do centonomy, who knows what's going to happen? It could be good, it could be bad. But the tools that you have in order to make you grow is what is most important. So the power of network. So when I make the reference to my husband and I, it is the power of doing things together that allowed us to then scale. Fast forward, everything is now okay. I need to make a job transition. This job transition for me was either I go and work in another country, or I'm really not going to have another job or an alternative that stimulates me. So what did I do? I took that job. But what is hard about taking a job? You guys may say, yeah, it's a job, you should be happy, right? That job required that I leave my children and my husband behind and go and work in a foreign country. For me, who loves the outdoors, who loves family, that is a very difficult choice to make. But to get to the soft life, to make sure that as a family we'll always have stability and support each other, not that my husband could not support me, but with time, the small things that you do, you get into habits and routines. And to let go of those habits and routines means a loss on my side. I took the job. Children at home, husband at home, but COVID happened. So for many, COVID was a difficult time. For me, COVID was also indeed a blessing, because it allowed us to then work together, because I could do it remotely. That is the real life. To get to the soft life, you have to go through the real life. You have to go through the hard life. You have to be patient. Be an optimist, but be real as you go through. So those are the words that I want to leave with you. But if I were to summarize all those lessons, I'll encourage you in the following ways. Your call to action, as we've been told by Waibaka, Osheke, Olivia, I must always lead with a call of action. You must take courage to do the things that you believe are important for you, even to drop the things that you believe are important to you to move forward. You must be patient. Nothing good comes easy. And in closing, the very, very last one that you must do is you must have faith to know that what you're doing, you will never understand what the implications are going to be, but go through the process. I never thought I would lead M-Pesa. In fact, I needed to tell Waibaka that everything about M-Pesa is about, let me go to Asheke's 3 things. It's about, making sure you've got money. It saves you time, okay? And makes you resilient when you don't have money also, with our lending products. And so please just have faith that if you do the right things, the right outcome will come. And we never know what we're going to build. But if you start the journey, and my biggest journey was my financial planning. I finished my first cycle of my financial plan, and thank you, Ashake, I paid off my mortgage. I am debt-free. But look how long it's taken me. I told I did centonomy in 2015. This is now 2023. So it doesn't come easy, and you don't know what the outcome will be, but you just have to trust and believe. So thank you very much, Waibaka. Thank you very much, Ashake.
Thank you so much, Esther. Please have a seat. Washeke, please join us here. Can we give them another hand? Everyone will come to share. Let me say this, guys. It's not easy to share your story like that. It's not easy to say where you come from, but it's so important to share that story so that someone else can be able to follow up and get into that same space. So I thank you all for sharing so honestly from the very beginning. And I'm going to ask my team if they're ready. We've got a small gift for you even as you come in. We're going to have a few moments right now just for questions that you have. So if you have a question, I'm coming down to you right now so that we can get some answers around that as we close out. As we did before, it's so easy. Yes, please bring them up if you can, kindly as we go. As I mentioned before, it's so easy for us to live and not make choices. I want us all to make that choice and say, I'm going to get into this business. The benefit of it, as you pay the first, the registration fee of only 500 today, then the tuition fee of 14. Thank you so much. Oh, you have to get that photo right. You have to get it right. So there's some evidence of that. Thank you so much. Excellent. Thank you. After that, we'll ask Ken if you can come. Just a small gift for you as well. Thank you so much. Let's give Ken another hand for sharing and being part of that. Yes. To my newest friend, because I only found him online now, and then we met. Please let's put our hands together for Peter Mtita as he shared his story as well. Thank you so much, and want to get that right there as well. Excellent. Very good. Definitely last but not least, Esther, if you don't mind, we'd love to give you. Esther Wetito would like to give you a gift for sharing your story. Let's put our hands together for her as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Excellent. Very good. Sheke? Thank you so much. You can have a seat. Thank you so much. All right. Good. All right. So we'll take a couple of questions as you're taking that opportunity to register. Guys, on the screens, you can also put that slide for registration so they know the M-Pesa pay bill. If you're outside, especially for those who are online, kindly type in the chat box and we'll be able to share with you the details of how you can register. This is truly an international class. When you come into the class, you'll be seated with people in that room in the Zoom class because they are all offered online. They're fully online. You'll be seated in a class with people from Australia, from Europe, from different places. It's amazing the experience you're going to hear and be part of. So, because we don't have much time left, if you have a question, kindly raise your hand on this side. If you have a question for our panelists, I'll give you 2 seconds. Please come to the front here if you don't mind. That's only one. No one else on that side.
Should we have with money? So I'd like to ask, what are the top 3 things, practical things, that we need to have or keep in mind with our relationship with money? Yeah.
Here we go. Top 3 things in the relationship with money.
Top 3 things. Okay, first, there's already a relationship existing. Sorry, just move here. There's already a relationship existing with money, and that relationship came from somewhere. So first, it's what experiences have you had with money? So something has happened along the way. It could be something your mother said, it could be something your father said, but there's something that has already created a way of thinking or belief system about money. Yeah. Secondly, so what are then the patterns that you are seeing with money? So if you're told money doesn't grow on trees and there's a scarcity mentality around that, then your pattern would be whenever there's an opportunity in front of you to think why you can't do it. So you default to why you can't do it. Yeah? So that becomes your thinking about money. And the last thing is because you now understand that, what is the next best step? So change, what is the first thing you can change? Because I know I'm going to reject an opportunity because that is my default action. What's the next best thing I can do? Either deal with somebody who can help with that, or let me just invest my first 5,000 bob, because what that does is I invest or I save it, I then start creating a new experience and a new cycle happens. So relationship with money is all about understanding that cycle. Your thinking, the belief system that has created, the pattern, and what you then do.